What's up guys, Chris here with the very first Eden Zero video of 2022 of the brand new year with us at 1,000 subscribers. And I got plans for this year, so hopefully I can get everything done. I know I keep promising more Eden Zero content. I will get that eventually. I just had a lot of stuff going on, so I apologize for that. But I will have more Eden Zero content coming in the future, so look forward to that. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed your new year. Again, I thank you guys for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. It really does help as the Eden Zero videos continue to do better and better from what I can tell. So let's hope we can make these videos even better as this year goes on. But before we get into the actual video and actual review, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really helps. It'll help with the YouTube algorithm recommend this stuff to more people. And hopefully I get more Eden Zero fans on here as well. But before I get into anything else, quick question. Would you guys be interested in me covering Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest? Like its chapters as I do those on the side from Four Nights in Eden Zero? Because I've been reading it on my own ever since I caught up and made that video last year on how much I was enjoying it. I know I said I wanted a certain amount of likes and I will start reviewing it. But as time went on, I figured, you know what? If you guys want me to do it, I'll do it. I'll make a review. I'll do bi-weekly reviews of Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest, if you guys really want that. I have polls on my Twitter and Instagram on whether or not you guys want, and if the overall consensus is yes, you all want me to review these series, then I will in fact review Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest. I just wanted to bring that out there before we get into the actual video. So, without further ado, let's get into chapter 173 of Eden Zero, titled Feather Alighting. This will take place right after last chapter, as we got the big double-base spread of Ziggy and his 4 Dark Stars getting ready for Shiki and everyone else to go to Lendard to fight Ziggy and his forces and meet up with Elsie for a large-scale assault. And this chapter starts off with a strategy meeting in the Kaide Cosmos led by Hermit, stating that since they believe Ziggy is hiding on Lendard, they will meet up with Elsie's fleet and launch an all-out attack. They never faced forces this large, so it's going to be a very intense battle. And before I move on, the very first page of this is that we actually got Clean's full character design. Nice new suit, and she's got the big hair bun on the back of her head, along with her long hair. I don't know, I like Clean's new design now. I'm liking everyone's new designs as well as those who haven't really changed, like Wise and Homura. But yeah, I'm liking these new post-time skip designs. But that's when Connor comes in telling them to hold off on what they're doing because he literally just escaped from that planet and he has no reason to be going to that place ever again, and he's serious about it. He even goes as far as to say, as captain of the ship, I order you to turn this ship around, as Sister just states he's not the captain. And Wise and Clean just straight up tell him, dude, you don't have to stay here. Just take one of the starfighters and get out of here. We don't need you here anyway. Just go if you want to leave so badly. He then calls them heartless fiends, as he states that all the Kaide Cosmos is already under Ziggy's control. He's a fugitive, and he can never shake off Ziggy's pursuers, and he just ends up being goofy and does like weird burble noises with Pino again. Man, this guy can go from serious to goofy to a long way. I don't know. But anyway, Lagoon just brings up that he heard it was floating through space without any ship at all, and that there was only one bit of good fortune in that, saying that he won't stop them from going to Ziggy, but he doesn't want to be anywhere near Lendard. They end up asking Shiki what to do, and he said he'll have to drop him off on a nearby planet somewhere. But Connor states it has to be outside of the Kaide Cosmos, because it has to be a very safe planet as well. And Homer states, well, that's a demanding gentleman. And Pino brings up the fact that since they're already in another cosmos, they can use fast travel to literally go somewhere else. And I like how Happy's like, so we'll have to waste the ship's energy to give that old man a ride. And even Hermit and Sister are annoyed by this, saying that it's a waste despite them having an ether drive that can just literally regenerate its power within a couple of minutes with not too much time wasted. But it is kind of a waste of time to begin with. And for the first time in nearly 100 chapters, we go back to the place where this story began, to the Sakura Cosmos and Bluegarden right back again. And I like that we're getting nice overall visuals of Bluegarden, as we haven't set foot on this planet since... Actually, now that I think about it, we haven't gone onto this planet since Gilst, as we've just been going from planet to planet and then straight into the Alley Cosmos after that with everything that happened with Ziggy. So that's very interesting to go on. But yeah, Rebecca is just saying that it takes her back. And even Wise states that it's been ages since they've been back. And I like how Rebecca has a ton of fans that notice her and they begin to chase her. So that's another nice thing, that nice little touch. Rebecca's a super famous VTuber after 3 full years, and now she has all this attention. But then Wise has something come to mind. He's like, Sakura Cosmos. That means, and then he gets flash images of Xiaomei. He's like, couldn't we have just saved a whole lot of time just asking her where Ziggy was? And even Shiki's surprised at this. But Herman pops up stating that they were lucky that the planet Mildian that they went to talk to Xiaomei was literally there in the Sakura Cosmos to begin with. As she explains that that planet itself just moves around in random cosmos and galaxies all the time. So, and it's a different location every time. It doesn't stay in the exact same place. So, another way to explain some a character that's very plot convenient. So, yeah, I like that. Because I think everyone had the thought, this literally slipped my mind once we got to the time skip, about asking Xiaomei how to actually find Ziggy, which is something that I can't believe I did not think of. But anyway, Connor pops up. He's like, this is a good planet. I can live a peaceful life here. Laguna ends up asking Connor, like, just say something's been bothering him. Straight up asks him why he's been working for Ziggy. He said that Connor, again, states they didn't know that it was Ziggy's planet. Laguna's mainly asked what a human was doing on a planet that builds robots automatically in the first place. And Connor states that there were a few jobs that only humans can do, as Laguna just straight up says, but you're a ship's captain. And he then shows a tattoo stating Freedom Force, saying that he was a captain from the Allyfun Freedom Force, and he fought the Empire in the past. But his Freedom Force was defeated by Nero and his army ages ago. And he states that he abandoned his ship before it was destroyed. And he can't help wondering if he had stayed with the Force, that maybe they could have survived. But he'd be flattering himself to think that he had made any real difference. He then looks up at Homura, Clean, and Rebecca, just chatting up on the side about everything that just happened with Rebecca and her fans, as he states that he had a daughter, and if she were alive, she'd be around their age. And she just looks at him asking if she were alive, and he just states that she left him soon after she was born, and that is what inspired him to leave his ship. She grabs his shoulders and acts like the post-time skip Shiki that we all know involved, and just starts bawling his eyes out like crazy. I'm sorry I'm laughing right now, but Shiki just heard a sad story and just starts bawling his eyes out saying, I'll be your new daughter. Oh man, when I first read this, I just couldn't stop laughing, and I'm laughing right now. I like Connor's reaction to this, as he's like, think of me as your daughter, Dad. And I like how he's like, wait, no thank you. Pino, anyway, let me just get back into the groove of things. So Pino ends up asking him, it must be hard that she passed away so soon after she was born. But Connor's like, oh, she's not dead, I don't think. To Shiki's shock, he said she left. He just meant that his wife left and took her with her. And Shiki's like, don't be so confusing. And I like how Laguna's like, good grief, man. But yeah, he states that he's been traveling from Cosmos to Cosmos looking for his wife and daughter, and that's where he ended up. Now we smash cut to the Adventurers Guild Starlight, as Clarice, the character we haven't seen again since the last time we went to Bluegarden at the very beginning of the series, just goes up crying her eyes out, so happy that she sees Rebecca after so long. It has been 3 years, so judging as how they were on like a crash course to just straight up find Ziggy, it makes a lot of sense why they haven't gone back to any of the other cosmos after what happened. And yeah, Rebecca's wondering, did Clarice hear anything she said as happy, straight up saying, we found this guy, and we need you to take care of him. She says that they can do that, and just like that, Master Noah, the guild master, shows up, just saying how good it is to see them again. And I like how Shiki looks at him with anger and disdain towards him, as he's like, oh dear Shiki, you're still angry with me because of that one incident? He's like, my, how you've grown. And I like how Shiki still kind of holds a grudge, as Noah is the reason that Rebecca was in danger to begin with. First Gilst, and then with Dragon Joe. So It's nice to see that she can still hold a grudge and not just try to forgive everybody. Noah also nonchalantly states that this could also technically be part of the thing that we're on opposing sides. Him with the Union Army's intelligence agency, and Shiki's now a member of the Irrational States Galactica. Anyway, Bino just tells him that they brought Mr. Connor, and now that they brought him there, it's finally time to attack Lender. But they have to get ready first. Noah states that that's a very far planet, but then Noah's Eye of God ether gear starts acting up, and then Hermit gets in contact with the crew saying that they have a problem. The Union Army knows that they came to the planet. Shiki obviously thinks that Noah ran him out, but Noah wouldn't do that, as he does owe them a lot. And turns out it's Feather from the Irrational States Interstellar, and she has the exact same ether gear abilities as Noah. And with the Eye of God, they can find ether gear. It's an ether gear that allows them to find, to observe the locations of other people in the galaxy, in the universe. And I like how Weiss also brought up that they could have just asked Noah where Ziggy was. So that's another bit of comedic moments in this chapter. So two characters that were basically be like exposition machines or easy plot devices were brought up in the exact same chapter, and Noah waves away this one just how Hermit waved away the idea of asking Xiaomei about Ziggy, stating that, well, Eye of God can locate mechanical life forms. And this also explains why the Union Army has not been able to find Ziggy also, why they haven't been able to find him as well. So it makes total sense. The one weakness of Eye of God ether gear is that mechanical life forms cannot be observed by them. But anyway, we see everyone stating that they're gonna have to get ready for a fight. But she just states that they can't shoot them, they're not the enemy. They'll have to immediately return to the ship and withstand their attacks until then. And that they probably sent an army to the guild as well, so they have to be careful. We see some of Feather's guys stating that the target is Shiki Grambel, and that there are a lot of civilians there, and they have to do whatever they can not to hurt them. Feather opens her eyes and states that the Eden Zero crew will emerge from the building soon, and that once they see them, to shoot. Now, I get Shiki is a member of the Irrational States Galactica, but I really do feel like they're kind of rushing into trying to apprehend him, as he has technically been helping them. But then again, if what's to be said is true, that maybe they just don't want Shiki interfering in their business, despite them doing actual good for the universe, then it makes a lot of sense, and they have their own sense of justice, so we gotta do what we gotta do, I guess. But anyway, we cut back to inside of the guild, as Shiki's like, they're after me. He's telling everyone to just straight up leave, and he'll meet them at the ship. He'll distract them as everyone else gets to the ship, and he'll meet up with them later. But Rebecca stops him, telling him the obvious, that they're a crew. They go back to the ship together, as we look at everyone determined and smiling at Shiki that they're ready for this. Shiki says okay, and that they're going to make a run for the ship, but they're not the enemy. Don't kill anyone. As the final panel is just Feather stating, I see you all emerging together, with the chapter ending there. So, looks like I was kind of wrong with how this chapter was going to play out. I initially thought that they were going to head straight to Lendard, as this chapter did kind of start off with Hermit explaining the initial battle plan. But having to drop off Connor was a nice way to get them away from the initial goal of this arc, as this did seem like too big of an arc to get straight into post-time skip. But it looks like we're getting this intermission fighting a member of the Irrational States Interstellar with Feather. Now, seeing as how Eye of God doesn't seem like a very battle-hardened ability, you'd have to think that maybe it's the overdrive version of this that gives more physical strength. But from what I can tell with Feather, maybe she is also a mechanical life form, an android, and it would make sense how she would have intense fighting capabilities despite her ether gear not being up to snuff on the surface level. But yeah, another great chapter, and I like we're setting up a conflict with the Union Army again. I did see this coming, but I honestly did not expect them to fight Shiki outright. I really hope we don't get into a bit of a thing where Shiki will have to fight one Union member at a time, one Interstellar Irrational States member at a time, until they finally get to Ziggy. Because we still have 3 members of the Irrational States Galactica still to battle. There are still huge unknowns. And we got Ziggy, as well as the quest for Mother. So I feel like battling these big characters that say that they're doing this stuff for the good of the universe, I feel like it would probably end up dragging the series out a bit too long. So I feel like this could just be set up for a potential new arc. And I don't think she's going to straight up fight them. But we'll just have to see, because right now we haven't seen anyone's true capabilities post time skip, since they just fought mindless drones to begin with. But yeah, what did you guys think of this chapter? Do you think that we're rushing into the whole Ziggy thing, and that this whole conflict with Feather seems to be a pretty good plot detail to kind of derail their initial plans and add a bit of extra conflict for what this next arc is going to be? Or do you think this arc could end in an interesting way where Shiki makes a deal with the Arachnids Galactica to help take down Ziggy? Because I do know that if they ran into Eraser, he'd probably be like, you know what, we had the same goal, let's put our differences aside, we'll fight. Because Eraser seems like a very calm and collected guy, and he'll do what it takes for the better options. Because he teamed up with the Rebel Army, and hell, he didn't even care that the Eden Zero was going straight towards Planet Nero. So you'd have to think maybe Eraser will be the voice of reason. But with all that said and done, a really nice chapter, and I liked how we got more into Connor's backstory to an extent. I like that we saw the goofy, emotional Shiki that we saw post time skip, seeing that he's not 100% battle hardened, that he still has those goofy and like the kind of ridiculous emotions he has towards people, especially with sob stories. So it's nice to see that Shiki hasn't changed completely. It warmed my heart to see our big sensitive guy still the guy he is, just a lot more serious than usual. Leave your comments down below on what you thought of this chapter. What do you think is going to happen next? How do you think this new arc we're setting up is going to be played out? And with all that said and done, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help. And once again, if you guys want me to cover Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest, like the video and also go on to the polls that I have in my community tab and on my Instagram at the Weeb, stating yes, you'd like me to hear those videos, or also just state them in the comments as well. And with all that said and done, I hope you all have an awesome day.